Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Liberty United States of America half-dollar coins. These iconic half-dollar coins hold a special place in American history, with designs that showcase liberty, freedom, and the nation's proud heritage. Collectors and coin enthusiasts around the world are always searching for rare dates, mint marks, and valuable error coins hidden in half-dollars. In this video, we'll explore what makes the Liberty half-dollar so special, the history behind its design, and why certain coins can be worth far more than their face value. Whether you're a coin collector, a history lover, or just curious about the most valuable U.S. coins in circulation, this video is packed with details you don't want to miss. So stay tuned and let's uncover the hidden treasures inside the Liberty United States half-dollar coins. Here's a 20-minute SEO-optimized continuous script about the Liberty in God We Trust 1974 United States of America half-dollar coin. It flows without intro/outro or headings, designed for long engagement and keyword-rich narration. The Liberty in God We Trust 1974 United States of America half-dollar coin is one of the most fascinating pieces in American numismatic history, carrying the portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the majestic eagle design on the reverse. Collectors and coin enthusiasts often look at the 1974 half-dollar with great curiosity because it represents not just a monetary unit, but also a piece of history tied to the legacy of President Kennedy and the values of liberty and trust that the United States emphasizes on its coinage. When holding a 1974 half-dollar, you immediately notice the bold inscription of the word liberty across the top, the phrase "In God We Trust" proudly placed beneath the portrait, and the date 1974 clearly struck at the bottom, symbolizing the era it belongs to. The reverse side proudly features the heraldic eagle with a shield across its chest, olive branch in one talon, arrows in the other, and a ring of stars surrounding the eagle's wings, all wrapped with the words United States of America and half-dollar. The composition of the 1974 half-dollar is primarily copper-nickel clad, with a core of pure copper and outer layers of copper-nickel, giving it a silvery appearance that can sometimes lead new collectors to mistake it for silver. In reality, circulation strikes of the 1974 half-dollar were not made of silver, though special collector issues in previous years, especially from the mid-1960s, did contain silver content. The diameter of this coin measures 30.6 millimeters, making it larger than a quarter but smaller than a silver dollar, and it weighs around 11.34 grams. This substantial size and weight give the coin a strong presence in hand, which is one reason why half-dollars are so appealing to both casual holders and serious collectors. The edge of the coin is reeded, another distinct feature that provides texture and authenticity to the coin's design. The mintage of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was significant, as millions were struck across multiple U.S. mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Circulating issues came primarily from Philadelphia and Denver, while proof coins were struck in San Francisco for collectors. The mint mark, when present, appears just below Kennedy's neck on the obverse side. A Philadelphia issue carries no mint mark, while the Denver coins have a small D mint mark, and San Francisco proof strikes bear the S mint mark. These differences in mint marks create natural varieties for collectors to seek out, with proof versions being especially desirable due to their mirror-like finish and sharp details. The high mintage of the 1974 half-dollar means that it is generally not considered rare in circulated condition, but the appeal lies in condition rarity, mint errors, and high-grade certified examples. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar because of its design continuity. The Kennedy design was first introduced in 1964, shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and it quickly became a beloved tribute. By 1974, the design had firmly established itself as an iconic representation of American coinage. The sculptor Gilroy Roberts created the obverse portrait of Kennedy, while Frank Gasparo designed the heraldic eagle reverse, both of whom were chief engravers of the U.S. Mint during their time. The craftsmanship and symbolism captured in the coin's surfaces make it much more than just a circulating half-dollar. It is a small, enduring monument to American history and ideals. When considering the value of the 1974 half-dollar, most circulated examples hold face value of 50 cents, but collectors often pay premiums for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition. Brilliant, uncirculated examples that have never been in circulation retain strong luster and sharp strikes, making them highly collectible. Proof coins, struck with special dies and polished blanks, carry higher values depending on grade. In addition to condition, errors and varieties can significantly enhance the desirability of the 1974 half-dollar. Some known varieties include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets, all of which command attention from specialized collectors. For example, a doubled die obverse may show doubling in the inscriptions Liberty or In God We Trust, which can dramatically increase the value of the coin depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling. The historical backdrop of 1974 adds additional context to the significance of this coin. The mid-1970s were a period of great change in the United States, with social, political, and economic events shaping the country. Coins of this era often serve as physical reminders of those times, circulating through the hands of millions of Americans and carrying the likeness of Kennedy, a president remembered for his vision and tragic end. The half-dollar in 1974 remained a coin that saw limited use in everyday transactions, as the denomination had gradually fallen out of common circulation since the 1960s. However, banks and casinos frequently requested half-dollars in bulk, ensuring continued mintages and distribution. This means that while the 1974 half-dollar is not rare, it remains an essential part of collections focused on 1970s U.S. coinage. Grading plays a major role in understanding the worth of the 1974 half-dollar. Professional grading services evaluate coins on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with grades such as MS-60, MS-65, and MS-70 denoting increasing levels of perfection. A 1974 half-dollar in average circulated condition may not exceed face value, but those graded MS-65 or higher can fetch significant premiums. Proofs graded PR-69 Deep Cameo or PR-70 Deep Cameo are especially valuable due to their flawless surfaces and deeply contrasted finishes. Collectors pay close attention to strike quality, luster, and any contact marks when assessing these coins. Because so many 1974 half-dollars were produced, only the top condition examples stand out in the market, creating a competitive space for numismatists who desire the very best. For beginners entering the hobby, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar serves as an excellent starting point. It is affordable, widely available, and rich with history, making it ideal for learning how to grade coins, identify mint marks, and appreciate design elements. Here's a 20-minute long SEO-optimized continuous narration script about the Liberty in God We Trust 1971 United States of America half-dollar coin. It has no intro, no outro, and no headings, just pure flowing content enriched with search-friendly keywords for maximum YouTube reach. The Liberty in God We Trust 1971 United States of America half-dollar coin is one of the most collected and studied coins in American numismatics, representing the continuation of the Kennedy half-dollar series that began in 1964. The obverse features the bold portrait of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with the inscription Liberty surrounding the upper rim, the phrase In God We Trust just below the profile, and the date 1971 at the bottom. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's design displays the heraldic eagle holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing both peace and strength, surrounded by a ring of stars, with the inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar circling the edge. This combination of patriotic symbols, historical legacy, and detailed artistry makes the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar one of the most recognizable and significant coins struck by the U.S. Mint. The year 1971 is especially important in the history of half-dollars because it marked a turning point in the composition of the coin. Up until 1970, Kennedy half-dollars issued for collectors were struck with 40% silver content, but starting in 1971, the U.S. Mint transitioned completely to a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of an inner core of pure copper bonded with outer layers of copper-nickel. This meant that the 1971 half-dollar was the very first year of regular production without any silver in circulation strikes. The coin measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, weighs 11.34 grams, and features a reeded edge, making it both durable and instantly recognizable. For collectors, the 1971 half-dollar stands out as the beginning of the clad era, a new chapter in U.S. coinage that continues to this day. The mintage of the 1971 Kennedy half dollar was substantial, with millions of pieces struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco mint produced proof issues for collectors. Circulating coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver display a D mint mark just below Kennedy's neck truncation on the obverse. San Francisco issues feature the S mint mark and were produced as proof coins, many with strong cameo contrast between frosted devices and mirrored fields. The high mintage numbers make the 1971 half dollar widely available, but quality and condition set apart common examples from collectible treasures. Brilliant uncirculated coins, high-grade mint state pieces, and proof strikes with deep cameo finishes are all highly sought after in the marketplace. When evaluating a 1971 half dollar, collectors pay close attention to grade and strike quality. Circulated examples are typically worth face value, but mint state coins graded MS-65 or higher can command a premium. Proof issues graded PR-69 deep cameo or the elusive PR-70 deep cameo are particularly valuable due to their nearly flawless surfaces and strong visual appeal. The difference between a common circulated coin and a certified high-grade example can mean the difference between 50 cents and several tens or even hundreds of dollars, especially when submitted to third-party grading services. Condition rarity plays a key role in the desirability of this coin, as high-grade survivors are far less common than the millions of average strikes. In addition to condition, errors and varieties make the 1971 half dollar exciting for collectors. Some coins are known with doubled die obverse features, where inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust show noticeable doubling under magnification. Other errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die breaks, each of which adds uniqueness and collector appeal. Certain 1971 D half dollars have been reported with striking anomalies that make them highly desirable among error specialists. Because of the massive number of coins produced, the chances of finding interesting minting mistakes increase, giving hobbyists an incentive to carefully check every 1971 half dollar they encounter. Historically, the 1971 half dollar reflects the economic and cultural atmosphere of its time. The removal of silver from circulating half dollars was a response to rising silver prices and the practical need to produce coins at a lower cost. By 1971, silver coins had largely disappeared from daily use, hoarded by the public for their intrinsic value. The Kennedy half dollar, however, continued to be struck in large quantities even though it was rarely seen in everyday transactions. Most Americans preferred smaller denominations like quarters, dimes, and nickels for daily spending, so half dollars were often stored in banks, used in casinos, or set aside by collectors. This unusual circulation pattern gives the 1971 half dollar a special place in U.S. coinage history as a denomination more collected than spent. Here's a 20-minute SEO-optimized continuous narration script for your YouTube video about the Liberty in God We Trust 1972 United States of America half dollar coin. It is written without intro, outro, or headings, just flowing, keyword-rich content for maximum engagement. The Liberty in God We Trust 1972 United States of America half dollar coin is an iconic piece of American numismatic history that continues to fascinate collectors, historians, and enthusiasts around the world. On the obverse, the coin displays the bold portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts, a lasting tribute to the 35th President of the United States following his tragic assassination in 1963. The inscription Liberty curves around the upper edge, while the phrase In God We Trust is carefully divided by Kennedy's profile, with the date 1972 positioned at the bottom. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's heraldic eagle design stands proudly with wings spread wide, a shield on its chest, olive branch in its right talon, and arrows in its left talon, surrounded by a circle of stars and the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar. This design symbolizes patriotism, freedom, peace, and strength, making the coin more than just a monetary unit, but also a powerful national emblem. The year 1972 carries significant weight in the Kennedy half dollar series because it was the second full year that the coin was struck entirely in copper-nickel-clad composition. After 1970, the U.S. Mint discontinued silver in circulation strikes, and by 1971 the half dollar was fully transitioned to the modern clad metal. The 1972 half dollar therefore continues this new era of American coinage, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper nickel, giving the coin a silver-like appearance while being much more affordable to produce. Measuring 30.6 millimeters in diameter, weighing 11.34 grams, and featuring a reeded edge, the 1972 half dollar is impressive in size and design, larger than the quarter dollar and instantly recognizable. The durability of clad coinage allowed these coins to withstand heavy circulation, though many 1972 issues survive today in various grades of preservation. The mintage of the 1972 Kennedy half dollar was high, with tens of millions produced at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins for collectors. The Philadelphia issues carry no mint mark. The Denver issues display a small D below Kennedy's neck, and the San Francisco issues feature an S mint mark, denoting their proof status. Philadelphia coins from this year are especially noted for strike weakness in certain areas of Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers, making sharply struck examples more collectible. Proofs from San Francisco, by contrast, were struck with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, resulting in sharp detail and brilliant mirrored surfaces. Some proofs also display cameo and deep cameo contrasts, where frosted design elements sharply contrast against reflective fields, which greatly increases their desirability among collectors. The value of a 1972 Kennedy half dollar varies depending on condition, mint mark, and special attributes. Circulated coins are generally worth their face value of 50 cents, but uncirculated examples with strong luster and minimal marks are worth more to collectors. Mint state coins graded MS65 or higher are especially desirable. Proof coins from San Francisco are more valuable than circulation strikes, especially when graded PR69 or PR70 with cameo or deep cameo designations. In addition to condition rarity, error coins and varieties are of great interest. For instance, double die varieties showing doubling in the inscriptions Liberty or In God We Trust, as well as off-center strikes or clipped planchets, can bring substantial premiums on the numismatic market. Because of the large mintage, error coins from 1972 are not uncommon, making this year an exciting hunting ground for collectors searching for unique pieces. Historically, the 1972 half dollar reflects the broader economic and cultural shifts of the early 1970s. Silver had been removed from circulation coins to prevent hoarding and to reduce production costs, as rising silver prices made earlier coins more valuable for their metal content than their face value. By 1972, Americans were fully accustomed to clad coinage, and Kennedy half dollars were struck in large numbers even though they were not widely used in everyday commerce. Many Americans preferred quarters, dimes, and nickels for daily transactions, while half dollars often ended up in bank vaults, casinos, or collector sets. This circulation pattern meant that while millions of 1972 half dollars exist, high-quality mint state examples are less common than their mintage numbers suggest. Collectors of the Kennedy half dollar series see 1972 as an important link in building complete sets by date and mint mark. To complete a basic set, a collector would need a Philadelphia no mint mark coin, a Denver Mint D coin, and a San Francisco Proof S coin. For those specializing in high-grade sets, finding well-struck MS66 or MS67 coins from 1972 can be a challenge due to strike weakness and contact marks from mass production. Proof collectors, on the other hand, pursue deep cameo examples with the highest grading designations, as these represent the pinnacle of mint craftsmanship during this period. The cultural significance of the Kennedy half dollar cannot be overstated. The portrait of John F. Kennedy became an enduring national tribute, and by 1972, the design had already become iconic. Families often saved Kennedy half dollars as keepsakes, and many Americans remember receiving them as gifts or finding them in change as special treasures. The inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust reflect the ideals that define the United States, while the eagle on the reverse serves as a continuation of the nation's heraldic symbolism. The 1972 half dollar therefore represents not only a monetary denomination, but also a piece of history that carries the values and identity of America. Grading plays a central role in determining the collectability and value of the 1972 half dollar. Circulated examples typically grade between VG8 and 50 Australian dollars, while mint state coins are graded MS60 and above. The highest quality examples, MS65 and higher, with full luster and minimal marks, are significantly more valuable. Proofs are graded separately, with PR69 and PR70 representing near perfection. Coins with cameo and deep cameo finishes command the highest premiums. Collectors carefully examine strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal when judging these coins. Because of their large mintage, only the finest condition pieces truly stand out in the market. The 1972 half dollar also provides a fascinating study in minting technology. The U.S. Mint by this time had fully adjusted to producing clad coinage, but issues with strike sharpness and die were still affected the final product. Examining a 1972 half dollar under magnification can reveal details about how the mint handled the production process during the early clad years. Proofs from San Francisco showcase the mint's ability to produce coins with stunning beauty and sharpness, making them particularly attractive to numismatists who appreciate both artistry and technical excellence. Here's a 20-minute SEO-optimized continuous narration script for your YouTube video about the Liberty in God We Trust 1985 United States of America half-dollar coin. It is written without intro, outro, or headings, just keyword-rich, flowing content designed to maximize YouTube search performance. The Liberty in God We Trust 1985 United States of America half-dollar coin is part of the Kennedy half-dollar series that began in 1964 and continues to be one of the most popular and collected coins in modern American numismatics. On the obverse, the coin bears the strong and dignified profile of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, surrounded by the inscription Liberty across the top. The motto In God We Trust is divided on either side of Kennedy's neck, and the date 1985 is struck prominently at the bottom. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, the coin displays the heraldic eagle, a powerful American symbol, holding an olive branch in its right talon and arrows in its left, with a shield across its chest. A ring of stars surrounds the eagle, with the words United States of America above and half-dollar below, giving the coin a design that is rich with national pride and symbolism. The 1985 Kennedy half-dollar was struck entirely in copper-nickel-clad composition, continuing the transition that began in 1971 when silver was removed from regular circulation issues. The coin has a pure copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel, creating a silvery appearance while being more economical to produce than silver coinage. The specifications remain standard for the series, with a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, a weight of 11.34 grams, and a reeded edge. This size and weight make the half-dollar an impressive coin to hold, much larger than a quarter and easily identifiable in hand. Mintage figures for the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco mint struck proof coins for collectors. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. Denver coins feature a small D mint mark located below Kennedy's neck on the obverse, and San Francisco proof issues carry the S mint mark. The total mintage in 1985 was significant, with millions of coins released, making the half-dollar accessible to both collectors and the general public. However, despite large mintages, condition rarity plays a major role in value, with higher-grade mint state and proof coins being far more desirable. In circulated condition, the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar typically holds its face value of 50 cents. However, uncirculated examples graded MS65 and above can be worth significantly more. Proofs struck at the San Francisco Mint are especially appealing, with brilliant mirror-like surfaces and strong cameo contrast, where frosted devices stand out sharply against mirrored backgrounds. Deep cameo examples graded PR69 or PR70 are considered the highest quality pieces and are highly sought after by advanced collectors. Because clad half-dollars were not as widely saved by the public as silver coins, finding pristine examples in high grades can be more challenging than the large mintages might suggest. The 1985 Kennedy half-dollar also offers opportunities for collectors who enjoy varieties and mint errors. Like other years in the series, certain double die varieties exist, where inscriptions such as Liberty or In God We Trust show noticeable doubling. Other errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets, all of which add uniqueness and collectible value. These anomalies occur during the minting process and create one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors are eager to find. Searching through rolls of Kennedy half-dollars often yields surprises, and 1985 is a year that attracts hobbyists looking for errors to add to their collections. Historically, the 1985 half-dollar reflects a time in the United States when clad coinage had been firmly established for over a decade. Silver was no longer used in circulation strikes, and the half-dollar denomination had largely disappeared from everyday commerce. By the 1980s, most Americans rarely encountered half-dollars in circulation, as banks, collectors, and casinos were the primary sources of demand for the coin. As a result, many 1985 half-dollars went directly into storage or collector sets rather than circulating widely in pocket change. This circulation pattern contributes to the availability of well-preserved examples today, though most still require careful searching to find high-grade survivors. The Kennedy half-dollar series itself carries deep cultural meaning. First issued in 1964 as a memorial to John F. Kennedy, the coin quickly became one of the most beloved and widely recognized pieces of American currency. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" underscore the values of freedom and faith, while the heraldic eagle on the reverse ties the design to centuries of American symbolism. For many people, Kennedy half-dollars are more than coins. They are patriotic emblems and family keepsakes. The 1985 issue continues this tradition, providing both historical continuity and modern collectability. Grading is an essential aspect of evaluating the 1985 half-dollar. Circulated coins often grade between VG8 and 58 Australian dollars, showing wear but retaining recognizable details. Uncirculated coins begin at MS60 and climb to MS65 and higher, with MS66 and MS67 examples being far scarcer and more valuable. Proofs are judged on surface preservation, strike sharpness, and cameo contrast, with PR69 and PR70 deep cameo pieces being the most desirable. Collectors pay close attention to luster, strike quality, and the presence or absence of contact marks when evaluating these coins. Because millions of half-dollars were produced in 1985, only the top condition examples stand out in the market. The investment potential of the 1985 half-dollar lies in its high-grade mint state coins, deep cameo proofs, and recognized error varieties. While common circulated examples are unlikely to increase in value significantly, pristine certified coins and unusual minting errors can command impressive prices and hold long-term appeal. Collectors building date and mint mark sets of Kennedy half-dollars always include 1985 as part of their collection, ensuring steady demand for this issue across all grades and types.